Students, very good morning to all of you. Today I am going to explain you the second poem of your book Hornbill, that is Laburnum Top, written by Ted Hughes. Before beginning the poem, let me introduce you the poet. The poet Ted Hughes was born in 1930 in West Yorkshire and educated at Mexborough Grammar School and Pembroke College, Cambridge. As a boy, he spent a lot of time on shooting and fishing and developed an obsession with birds and animals, which is evident in this poem, The Laburnum Top, as well as in many other works by him. This poem captures the beauty and silence of the natural world. Besides several volumes of poems, Ted also published plays for children. Many of Ted's poems constitute interesting examples of the topographical poetry. Ted stresses on the physical, animal, and the subconscious. He was appointed Poet Laureate in 1984 and breathed his last, that is, he died in the year 1998. So now we'll see to the poem. The title of the poem is Laburnum Top. So I'll tell you what does it mean. Here the laburnum is the name of a tree which has yellow colored flowers, and it is also called as amaltas in Hindi. And here top means the topmost part of this tree. The poet is talking of the topmost part of this tree, laburnum. And now I'll give you a brief introduction of the poem. What is the poem about? This poem stands in this poem, the laburnum tree stands silent and still, and its yellow flowers appear to be in harmony with the yellow sunlight in the afternoon of the September month. And with the onset of the autumn season, its leaves start yellowing and its seeds are scattered. This peace and silence give way to a stormy commotion when the goldfinch comes and perches at the branch end with a twitching chirrup. With a startled look on her face, she very cautiously enters the thickness of the tree. There is a sudden commotion as she feeds her young ones in the nest. The whole tree seems to tremble and resound with the twittering of the baby birds and the sound of their wings flapping as they grab food. Having fed her family to their fill, she again sneaks out to the branch end, as if conscious of being the culprit behind the commotion. She makes delicate whistling sounds and soars away into the infinity of the sky. Silence and hollowness descends on the laburnum tree again. So this was about the poem. It is a short summary. Now we'll see to the poem. The first stanza says, the laburnum top is silent, quite still in the afternoon, yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. So in this stanza, the poet says that he saw a laburnum tree whose leaves were yellow. The tree's top is still and silent in the daytime of September month, and it is the autumn season and all the seeds of the tree had fallen. The poet has used the word yellow for leaves and sunlight. Here the yellow symbolizes silence, death and beauty. He describes the whole scene of the tree with this color. So, and here the literary device that the poet has used is alliteration, which is very much visible in the second line of this stanza, that is September sunlight. Here S consonant is repeated twice, and the time of the year that is referred in these lines, by reading the lines we come to know that the poet is talking of the autumn season, and that is the line suggests the onset or the coming of the autumn season when the sun is still warm and tree leaves begin to yellow and fall. So This was the first stanza. Now let's see to the second stanza. The second stanza says that till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end, then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and a machine starts up of chittering and a tremor of wings and thrillings. Trillings, the whole tree trembles and thrills. So first we'll see to the meaning of all the hard words that have appeared in this stanza. The first word, that is goldfinch. Goldfinch, as I told you, it is a small singing bird with yellow feathers on its wings. Twitching means sudden jerk, movement. Chirrup means a bird making repeated high pitched sound. Startlement means feeling or showing sudden shock. Abrupt means rapid. Chitterings means to make a chattering sound. Tremor of wings means involuntary vibration of the wings. Trillings means to produce a chirping sound. Trembles means to shake, and thrills means a sudden feeling of excitement. So in these lines the poet says that a goldfinch bird comes to end the death like scene or silence of the tree and makes a sudden chirrup sound. The bird, while being rapid, alert and precautious like a lizard, sits on the branches of the tree. As she moved towards the thickness of the branch, her younger ones started chirruping and doing vibrations with wings, making a sound like a machine. Because of the movement of the bird and her young ones, the tree starts to shake and thrill. The poet in these lines has given two opposite scenarios of the tree. The tree first being death-like and still, and then giving life and shelter to bird and her young ones. Now we will see to the literary devices that are used in this stanza. The main literary device or the poetic device is used in the second line of this stanza, that is simile. Having made sure that she is safe and secure, the goldfinch cautiously sneaks into the thickness of the tree in a quick manner. A lizard has a similar movement when it passes through a narrow slit. So here the simile, the comparison has been laid between the bird and the lizard. The movement of the lizard and the bird is same. Then the expression that is used in this stanza is a machine starts up. So in this, the expression, the poet refers to the commotion that is created in the silent tree when the goldfinch starts feeding its young ones, and there is a blended noise of their chirrupings and flapping of wings as the baby birds make a noise for their mother's attention and food. Often such a commotion is created by machines when they are operated. So again here the action of the bird is compared to a machine here. Now let's see to the next stanza. It is the engine of her family. She stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity masked. So here the meaning of the word flirts out means lead on to, stokes means to add fuel to the engine, barred means strippy, that is it has stripes on its whole body, which is the main identification of this bird. So in this stanza the poet says that the laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird is the engine of her family. She provides food to her young ones and moves to the other branch end. Her dark colored striped face is visible as her body is yellow colored and hides behind the yellow leaves of the tree. So here the engine, here the metaphor has been used by the poet, that is the bird is called as the engine of her family. Like an engine, she works and she brings the food and feeds her kids, and when she comes, the birds also, the young ones of this bird, they start flapping their wings and the engine starts, that is the whole tree is filled with energy and it is now shaking, it is trembling. And here the identity mask, that is the barred face, has been given, that the poet has said that the bird can be identified with the bars which are present, the bars which are present on the whole body. Now let's see to the next stanza. The next stanza says, then the eerie delicate whistle, chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite and the laburnum subsides to empty. So here eerie, the word eerie means weird and strange, and the whistle chirrup means gentle whisper like the chirping of the bird, and subsides means diminishes. So in this stanza the poet says that after reaching the end of the branch, means after the bird had feeded her young ones, it quickly moves to the end of the branch. Then the bird makes a sweet chirping sound just like whispering and flies away towards the infinite sky. It again makes the laburnum tree silent and death-like. That is, as the bird moved, again it flew into the sky, the tree is again silent and death-like. Now the line eerie delicate whistle in this stanza means, this expression refers to the low, gentle and soft sound made by the goldfinch. After having accomplished her task of feeding her young ones, she experiences motherly satisfaction. As an expression of this feeling, she whistles softly and flies up into the sky. And the word infinite here refers to the vast expanse of the sky where the goldfinch disappears once again and after feeding her young ones. And now if I ask you what is the image that is created in the very last line of this stanza, that is the laburnum subsides to empty. That is, here the poet creates an image of emptiness, hollowness and seclusion. The laburnum tree, which was buzzed with activity with the arrival of the goldfinch, returns to its silence once the bird, a symbol of life, departs. So this was the poem. Now once again we will discuss the literary devices that are being used in this poem. The very first literary device is symbols, that is symbolism has been used by the poet. Here the symbol of peace and laburnum top is a symbol of peace and serenity, which is an integral part of nature. Yellow September, leaves yellowing, is the symbolic of autumn and passing age, which brings in its wake decay and loneliness. And the goldfinch bird symbolizes vivacity and liveliness. Another poetic device that is used in this poem is simile. As I told you that simile, what is simile? It is the comparison of two unlike objects using the word of comparison like or as. For example, in the line sleek as a lizard. Having made sure that she is safe and secure, the goldfinch cautiously sneaks into the thickness of the tree, just like a lizard. Here the action of the goldfinch is compared to the movement of the lizard, which nimbly passes through a narrow slit. Another poetic device that is used is metaphor. What is metaphor? Metaphor is again a poetic device in which the poet compares two objects without using the word of comparison like or as. Here the metaphor is used in the line engine of her family. The tree is the scene of the bird's family's activity, and it trembles and thrills just like the whirring of an engine or the movement of an engine in motion which creates vibrations. And the poet does not say that tree is like an engine. He presents the tree as an engine itself. The last poetic device that is used is transferred epithet. Now, what is transferred epithet? Transferred epithet is an adjective which is not used with the noun. It qualifies but with another noun. So, here the transferred epithet is used in the line barred face, identity, mask. The stringed flower clusters of the laburnum tree hang like bars and partially covers the bird. The goldfinch typically has yellow bands or bars on its face or wings which help in its identification. Therefore, this is the transferred epithet used in this line. The poet has used this literary device. So, this was all in the poem. I hope you all have understood the poem. Thank you.